Hi, my name is Mike Boysen, and my goal is to help you achieve your innovation research outcomes faster, less expensively, with less bias and fewer assumptions. I spend a great deal of my time looking for ways to help you develop strategic options that give you the inputs needed to accelerate into experiments quickly, cheaply, easily, and productively. My blogging documents many of the thought experiments I go through as I continually strive to take existing knowledge and emerging technology and blend them together to address your unmet needs. If you'd like to take a deeper dive, let me suggest a few options for you. One, you can check out my masterclass on eliminating jobs to be done interviews with artificial intelligence. Don't let people selling jobs to be done interview training fool you. They don't do jobs to be done the way I do. Two, you can join my Jobs to be Done community. This is where I engage with clients in private spaces, and I also have more public spaces where you can contribute or ask questions. I'm in there all the time. This is where I'll also be having live events like workshops with guest presenters, as well as town hall events where we can have Ask Me Anything interactions for extended periods. Hope to see you there. As I think about all of the outcome-driven innovation surveys that I've seen, I don't believe I've ever seen a solution captured for each step in the map. Generally, what you see is a question that asks you to select all that apply at the beginning of the survey. This is a job level capture, so it doesn't address the fact that a single job performer might use different tools at each step. This approach really doesn't tell us what we need to know. I always found this odd because we always talk about cobbling solutions together to get the job done. So we know there should be multiple solutions, whether they are products, services, do it yourself, or all of the above. And it didn't allow us to determine where our client's solution was being used at each step and or where competing brands were being used. Not to mention non-traditional competitors. Weird, isn't it? We say one thing and we do another. In fact, if we were to implement a stepwise approach to understanding which methods, brands, products, or services were being used, we'd need to determine in advance which brands we want to focus on so we can screen in and out our respondents to have better control over our budget. Is this possible? Is it too much work? I've been thinking about this and wonder if it doesn't make more sense to identify brands that are being used at each step, regardless of how much extra research work is required. I'm starting to believe that growth strategies fall dramatically short when this work isn't done. Depending on the level of abstraction, we will see brands, whether they're traditional or non-traditional competitors, occupying or dominating adjacent steps in the job map. It may not be as prevalent in the world of journey analysis when we're focused on consumption steps related to a particular brand, such as a train ride from point A to point B. However, if the customer journey is actually longer than the train ride, then we're failing to see the entire journey from the customer's perspective, and therefore we're failing to help them get their entire job done on a single platform or with a single brand. We're also not able to evaluate our non-traditional competitors against a common set of performance criteria. That would include other similar solutions competing at the same step in basically the same way. And it could include services that are offered by a provider who's found a way to solve a problem for customers that spans brands or industries. One example would be Amazon Shopping, which negates the need to set up your own shopping website or hire a dedicated e-commerce platform like Shopify. For those businesses who don't want to or can't handle all the complexities, would be involved with managing these activities. They also may just want a larger audience that they can access through Amazon's recommendation engine. Do you really want to limit your journey analysis in a way that ignores opportunities to leverage capabilities across the larger job to be done? Maybe you do. So let's think about something as simple as cutting your lawn. If we were going to study this, we'd need to assume that there's no lawn maintenance service available yet. And we know that this has been around for many decades. So we're probably trying to understand a higher context job. In other words, if we're a lawnmower manufacturer, the job our product is focused on, cutting the lawn, is probably a single step in a higher context job, such as maintaining a lawn or maintaining your front yard. Your front yard may not have a lawn at all. Sure, we could be trying to improve an existing service solution, but that's a limited view, and our ability to identify value gaps in the market will shrink dramatically over time. I know, this probably makes you uncomfortable. Your boss probably wants you to do something productive next week. So our first step is to make sure we're not locked into a job definition that represents a very mature market. In this case, we need to elevate our view of the market from homeowners cutting a lawn to homeowners that are maintaining a front yard. So let's go through this job map of homeowners cutting their front lawn step by step, and then we'll compare it to the next job map. So the first thing they're going to want to do is determine the desired lawn height. Once they've done that, they're going to locate the lawnmower and the fuel. Then they're going to prepare the lawnmower for use. When they've done that, they're going to start the lawnmower. Then they're going to mow the lawn. While they're mowing the lawn, they're going to monitor the lawnmower's performance. At that time, they will refuel if necessary. They will also adjust the mowing pattern as needed. And finally, they'll inspect the lawn for any missed spots or uneven cutting. So as we move into the next map, there may or may not be a service available yet. We could have done this map decades and decades ago, and we could have definitely conceptualized of a service that didn't yet exist, because sometimes we just don't want to do it ourselves. So let's take a look at this map step by step. Evaluate the yard's maintenance needs. Decide between DIY maintenance or hiring a service. If you're hiring, research the available services. If you're hiring, schedule a service appointment. If you're doing it DIY, locate the gardening tools and supplies. Then you need to prepare the yard for service or DIY maintenance. If hiring, make sure you communicate the appropriate specifications to your service provider. If you're doing it yourself, execute the required maintenance activities, oversee the maintenance work or your DIY progress, inspect the work upon completion, or review your DIY work. If you're hiring, provide feedback or request adjustments. And finally, plan for ongoing maintenance. We could take a look at a decision-oriented job where the homeowner considers their ideal state and whether the yard should be grass, dirt, decorative stone, or cars up on jacks. A completely different exercise. Either way, it's pretty easy to see that in the first map, a lawnmower plays a pivotal role in just about every step, but the second map could have different solutions depending on whether you go DIY or you hire a service. And it could incorporate other maintenance items beyond just cutting grass, which is assumed in the first job. They say that constraints lead to innovations, but in this case, the constraint is a self-imposed view of the world. You'll benefit from seeing past this kind of constraint. I hope you all have a great day.